What's up, bro? What's happening, bro?
To a digital twin of the world that they can control, that is disconnected from spirit. And I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you
Sun's starting to come out. I just want to keep, I don't want to put it all the way up, but it's not in front. I just want to put it right there. What's my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We gotta protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no months, but also no posses. Hola, worshiping pedophiles, wanna feed out the spirits of robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system irrigation and grow crops. I'm visioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was released from prison with this passion to speak up. After doing 25 years in the beach cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? We should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the golem bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control. Oh, well.
Nah, bro. Come on. You almost there, bro. Almost there. Survive.
You got a bite, man. You got a bite.
Chi-town, who am I but Chi-town? You young fool, I'm too fly to slide down blue sky but high ground. My crown slash on me, so my aircraft still spit. Heavy tied down, leave receipt loaded. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I just shoot it. You get the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked the cause, my hand, I dealt it. Feel the vibration, you cut my pelvic. We bust bubbles from ices.
You hitting it again.
Radiant, I keep a dark room welded. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Body for remarks, velvet. Body you not for Mars, a female's clip. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit to a fly zone. Haters wanna crucify a real man. I still stand with the silver hand, but with a villain man. It's not cyber shield. I'm telling sheep. I'm
one tough cookie, I don't follow, I set standards. Catch me, you gon' have to do more than scamper. Need more than scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as your goofy slave god. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper or bra. You stagnated, while I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm dating space AC, y'all. Buster stuck in the cage, face off. Acting shape the stage, the fake, we fraud. Battle start, intergalactic is my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing a step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, height, and depth. I'm just piloting up. Flying a jet, straight to adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm the thorough guy, goddammit. Symmetrical apparel, a fly bandit. Mohawk, aviators, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow and precise transit. A Christmas Carol lives what your fans get. You rose and pearls what I transmit. As a transcript, or I just spit it off the top. It's either shit or get off the pot. This shit's hot.
Wants to get his own crew. Everybody wants to get his own crew rich. And then they want the other little people never get a piece of pie. And they want to go for that. And go for you niggas that think that y'all big too. I understand this. That's why you niggas and crackers can't stand me. You niggas that know that I know you can't do nothing if you're broke. Listen to me, young people and old people too. Mostly black people, I'm talking to you.
Sure. Y'all really thought that I was done with y'all. Nah. I'm really down on y'all. Fellas up. We not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fat. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau, Big Mac. Whether earth is brown or flat.
What's up, Millennium?
You want our shit back.
Zeb. Tom, I got you, baby. What's happening, bro?
Looking past the shine spot. Third eye game, straight clubs. I don't keep up.
Burn a little Santos. Little Santos.
I'm saying that from the skybox, I got a scope on you pilgrims. The school is a rules. Some of our folks are still dumb. Young and blasting the fact that love, we gon' have this real some warrior spirits inside me. This where it's real from. The world's a stage, page after page, script is played out. They keep us engaged, they keep arranged. This is played out. Rules of a dying society should have been disobeyed out. Forehead and he's off the floor. Should have been prayed out. The draft is on. COVID's no issue. Could've blown it in tissue. Now it's control. Blows the whistle. To who owes the pistols. The debacle's about who owes who the fizzle. Disregard the aboriginal issue. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fat. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau, Big Mac. Whether earth is brown or flat. We want our shit back. A fool is known by his speech. Yet if I don't speak, I suffer defeat. I'm other than we. A sucker or me. Stand on 2 feet or jump the other cheek. The wise man known by his silence. Mostly disguised compliance. Silence by guidance. From conspiring to novice. Other aspirants of violence. Tyrants of fire. Trying the giants who hate. I'm sure and defiant.
Damn. What's up? Let's get it started. It's like 9:51. Let me crack the window a little bit. Burn a little Santos. And it's good. It's cleansing. But I do sage as well, so y'all know how that goes. And it's beautiful smell, so let it get outside and clean some of these people's souls. How y'all doing today, man? So you know I did the live yesterday. I read a little bit of Elena Blavatsky. Talked about the Jewish guy I talked to. All right, who's Semitic, not Shemitic, and Bernstein. Like what I want to say is like, it doesn't matter to me. There is not one individual on this earth. Well, I can't say that. The majority of people are living lies. And anybody who thinks that they're living a truth, and those of you who are becoming aware, you know that you need to stay far away from them because you're not strong enough to deal with it. And when I say strong, it doesn't mean strong, you know, like muscles and brain power and all that nonsense. I'm talking about emotionally. The majority of people aren't. And I mean the majority. It doesn't matter what aptitude and aptitude. It doesn't matter what you do, who you think you are, whatever. It doesn't matter whether I knew I was supposed to talk to him. I knew that he wanted to be able to have a conversation. It doesn't matter. Because I know the game better than the game itself. For those who still believe it's a game. I've become so aware of so many things. And I think the more you become aware, the further you get away from here. I can't explain it. It's not a pain. It's not anything. A lot of people have answers for things. And I think those answers are meant for those who are seeking, who have the questions, who seek those answers. To me, the answers aren't relevant. They mean nothing. It's like Hollywood. You still have people living on the lies of Hollywood. And majority of people know that Hollywood, look at James Honest, Gunsmoke. He couldn't stand most of the people around him. The woman he worked with, he couldn't stand her. John Wayne was a serious racist. With an image on white, and he was nobody. He played football. He wasn't no cowboy. That was to recreate a new dynamic to make people believe that pale skins were the cowboys when they weren't. What they wanted to bring Sammy Davis over. James Honest wasn't a racist. He hated racists. He made it very verbal, but he didn't want what could happen to happen. He wanted to keep his limelight. He wanted to stay in the shine. Anthony Stewart, Vertigo, blah, 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 right? Air Force or whatever you want to call it, he was in. When I told y'all he made that statement, like, why do we have to let the Negroes? Because the brother that played the cop with the fro on Sanford and Son, when he was younger, they wanted to bring him into his, show, into one of his TV show. And he was a staunch racist. He says, why do we got to give those niggas or those blacks anything when they already have everything? See, they still knew that this country was ours. Not in the perception of, I own it. We were here, always here. But now you see everybody running around. You got racists talking about the rednecks. That's not what a redneck is. They were us and some of them. Majority us. And I've shown it. And it's easy to be proven because the whole dialect, all the information is out there. Once you hear it, you research it, and you find it. That's all I've been. I've been just a little kindle, a little spark to the air and the substance that would be for the fire. You have all these leftists, melanated ones, who will run around in these so-called slave states with this ideology of revolution. Yet revolution was not about running around with a gun. Because we think revolutionary war, made up narrative. We're fighting for our sovereignty. We're fighting for the republic. We're fighting to keep the land as it should be for the righteousness of our people as we existed. Now, majority of people aren't righteous at all. They're homosexuals, lesbians, they're feminists, this, that, male chauvinists, They use drugs, steroids. You follow Olympia. You think Lee Haney's somebody. You think, Ronnie Coleman, who tore himself up, taking his milk and all the rest of them. These people are not examples. They're examples for the new world, but not the examples of the old and the truth. Everybody wants to lean on these people, Cornel West and W.B. Du Bois and Martin Luther Kings and Jesse Jacksons and so on and so on and so on. Those individuals are worthless. No hate, no discontent required. All right? But the reality is the reality. And in that, Steve, our people run around. Think about this. I saw a sister's podcast, something, whatever. I don't care. I just looked at it so I can go back in case I wanted to pull up information. I'm not here to draw it out. We have these sisters, right? And they make these posts. And it's called Afrocentric and blah, blah, blah. Yet they have the nerve to have James Baldwin, who knows he's indigenous to this land, who left. Yeah, he was homosexual, whatever. And he went to France because he got tired of what was going on. He saw beyond the lies. And they keep using our material, these dumb sisters and brothers here, with this black-centric bull crap. You have people fighting to hold on to black because they think that it's meaningful, like they give it meaning, like the word nigger or anything else. And I've gotten to the point where I'm not even going to communicate or comment on their posts, because sometimes you got to let, we call the bric-a-brac or the riffraff, stay right where they're at. They have choices. And you cannot be emotionally connected. No, you don't have to detach yourself, but you do not have to be emotionally connected to anything that you see that's irrelevant. Not saying that you don't need to study it, and maybe you don't want to, maybe you might be the one who needs to make a comment. Maybe you're the one who can change the venue or the lie. But anyone who's moving in a lie, remember the circle you keep, anyone moving in a lie, they will ostracize you. And then you in turn will ostracize them. That is not a collective. That is not a way to do things. You have to separate. You have to. And don't take it literal. I mean, separate your truth from the lie. But does that mean that you stop working, that you argue with everybody at your job? No, you stay quiet. You stay to yourself. You learn all you can learn until you get to a place where you realize, wow, I knew that. Or you get to a place where it's comfortable and you realize that irrationality was never the source, nor the referendum, or the answer, like an MO, a military occupation, or your job description. You realize that it has nothing to do with you, and you were very unaware. And when you realize that, then you don't have to contemplate. You don't have to be scripted into something that holds you far off from you. Hollywood made all the lies. It's the only reason why these individuals running around claiming to be what they are, based on a narrative that was scripted out of a total whitewashing and a lie of history. Now, do any of them know it? Plenty do. But what was the purpose? Well, it's something deeper and darker. Y'all are very aware of that. The reset, the human zoos. Somebody attempted to argue with me saying, y'all were in the human zoos. No, we were not. The American Negro was not permitted or allowed, and we were rebuilding and fighting still and doing our best to save the buildings they were destroying. Y'all didn't know that, did you? We're the original firefighters. You aware of that? Who was looking at all the inventions? Did you notice what we invented? That's all I got to say. Now you have a bunch of bastardized individuals. You think we would be riding around in Hurricane Katrina, riding around in a fire truck with a shotgun because we're stupid? We want to harm people of certain colors? That's not our dynasty. That's not dynamic to us. We don't create chaos and destruction. We have been implemented to bring it upon ourselves because of confusion. But regardless of that, that will end. Just no, or everything will, but you would think that there would be those who would stop being beside themselves and realize, holy something. And the ones who have, they've gotten rid of them. They've put them in psych wards. They've died off. Or they're well hidden. If they knew, let's put it like this. If they knew, they would stop. But what they know, they keep pursuing it. How many of y'all ever watch the family in Virginia called the Whiteys or whatever? Well, anyway, I guess they went and finally got them and took them to put them in better care or something. They were all through incest. That is still a big thing. Most people don't see it, but it is a big thing. Oh, the world over. And I mean the world over. And I'm not saying run out there and start tagging people, like verbal air tags, because, when you look at Alabama and Georgia, you look at a lot of them Pelicans and how they act, big bellies, this, that, and other, and you realize, wow, the ringworms, the hookworms, all these parasites are really having a cause and effect. You can hear in their dialect and in their actions, even among you, sadly. But then you come back around and you realize it's a big game. I mean, look at Busta Rhymes. He was working out, getting himself together, and all of a sudden, got away. Well, what is going on with the man's belly? What is going on with the CeeLo, with all their bellies extended like that? Nobody ever thought about that. But don't get caught up in it emotionally. Don't be like some of these people. I know some of you follow Black China. You know, she's always doing her best to show you the man who's a woman and the woman who's a man. That is meaningless. But people get caught up in it. They get stuck in it, you know? Don't be that one. Illuminate yourself. Don't make yourself so distinctful to the world outside you, because you will stand out regardless. Make the hard choices, because see, them hard choices are going to reveal things. If you cannot make the hard choices, then you're going to lean upon convenience, and convenience is what's going to tear you down, as it has. Everything about Hollywood is brass and a lie. When I told people original Superman was a brother created a cartoon of this super character in Detroit. He wasn't a good guy. He was robbing and taking what he wanted. That's where the idea of Superman came from. And we can go on and on and on. You know, the fact that we still have fools running around putting on, you know, the Marvel Universe, you know, the brother, you know, but Wakanda in America is not even an African term. Just like in Roots, certain names are not African, but were indigenous to the land here. When you start thinking about, right now you have a bunch of Pamunkeys running around who are pale-skinned, but in all the dialects and books, even histories overseas in Germany, the Pamunkey were a Negroidal people. The Cree were a Negroid people. Now you have these Mongols who swear up and down after the World's Fair, who weren't even known until the 1960s and 70s, all of a sudden, we're the Indians. Like the Pima. When I showed 32 pages of Negro Pimas and you see a whole bunch of Pima Indians running around Mongol the fuck out, excuse my French, Mongol the heck out, and then you still see the dark ones who got round eyes or kind of slightly slanted but not Mongol with fat noses, and they like the straight hair now. They like all these, see, just like you have a lot of Spanish-speaking people, brothers and sisters, who are sisters, but they hold on to that Ashkenaz bloodline that's subverted during the conquering phase that made them, when they were raping them little 9, 10, 12-year-old women, and it made them their grandmas and their great-grandmas, right? And they just think they're the bomb now, and no. They don't walk in their original stature. They're beautiful, but they don't walk in their original stature. But do we get caught up in it? The emotions will stare us and direct us in a way that will not allow connectivity. Just because they are there does not mean that you're supposed to acquiesce that and become part of that phenom. Okay? I just want to come on and reassure you that it's not, because I don't say everything don't mean that I don't know. I'm not here to be the Mr. Know-It-All. I relinquish this reality. I don't know nothing, but what I have knowledge in, I will share with you. Remember, I have a story to tell. And nobody controls it. I don't care. Nobody. Think about it. All right? Hey, niece, what's up? Dollars in this food, that's where the belly comes from. No, that's not where the belly comes from. But I appreciate that, Martin Harper. That's not where it comes from. It's more than that. Oh, Mac, what's happening? What's happening? All right, money. Whatever that means, I don't know. Yeah. It's cracking. It's like having salutations always. What's going on? Listen to your channel on like the stream. Hey, what's going on, Straight Prodigy? What's cracking? How you doing, fam? Anyway, I hope y'all take that and utilize it to better yourselves. Yesterday, I had somebody says, when are you going to shave your beard off? So my face, does it bother you? I mean, we become so caustic to one another that we haven't made ourselves relative. I look at these young women, like the women I went to school with, running around with all their parts out. And I think of Rabbi Shmuley, that sick disease. That thing that walks around looking like a cockroach with skin on it. Who doesn't know if that one night he wants to run up in a boy or a girl. And these things are supposed to represent our people, our ancestral heritage, because of the perverseness of it. Because they want to believe, or because they're that deep moving in the darkness, there's enough of things that is supposed to be accepted because a worthless media with a bunch of cowards say so, or agencies or alphabet individuals are steeped in that occult, I don't like using those terms, in that leviathan of stupidity and poor decisions, because I always say true power will never have to commit and do the things they've done. And that is to indoctrinate, to show that this is what we can do, when that shows that in order, if you got to do all that, you really haven't reached the pinnacle of your truth. Because I always say, when you're moving in a direction that is truly powerful, you don't have to go beneath the bottom that you think you created. That's how the disease derivative is. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I appreciate everybody tapping in. I'm going in early today. It's only gonna be a 4-hour work day. Then tomorrow's, I think, a full night, maybe a short an hour, and then I may take somebody's day Friday, and I may take a day Saturday, from somebody. You know, people sometimes take time off just to have my full hours, and then again I might not, because I wasn't supposed to work today either. But I'm gonna be 4 hours. I'm gonna be 1 to 5, and I still have some things to learn, and I appreciate you guys. And I may go live a little later because I really a lot of reading. I've been reading a lot on Boxer Rebellion, and I have some stuff that I downloaded besides Paper Sons, the witch call I did in college and all that. The information, I was able to pull that back down to G+, and maybe we could further elaborate on certain things. I know people are kind of, because they're like, wait a minute, I got an Asian brother out here and a couple others who come through, Korean and Japanese, who are dating, and they love and respect me. And sometimes I think it's because I'm part Han Chinese or Coolie or whatever you want to identify. But it's a mutual respect, because I don't pull punches. I don't hide my history. I don't hide who I am. I don't see the worth in that. Someone say, well, you should be silent. No, my dreams told me otherwise. There's nothing to be silent about. It's not like information's not out here. You know what I mean? The fact that I am Chickasaw of the Choctaw, a little Costa Rican, a little Gula, not Geechee, just Gula. The two separate parties. Stop listening to these pan-rific African out of whatever. And yes, I stand beside West Side when it comes to these, and I don't mean to do it in a way that is narcissistic, diabolical, or anything. But these Somalis need to take their ass back to Somalia and fix that, because they are here with bad intentions. I remember hearing about a month ago about, and saw it, the guy on TikTok talking about, who worked at the food place, of how they poo and pee everywhere. If you can't come to a country and respect it, because you have a bunch of peckerwoods and dumb people that went to your country and fought based on a lie and murdered a lot of people, though you create your own polity, because you got to remember, they are Ethiopians just like the Hindus. Somalis, yes. That's not our problem. It was never meant for us to fix this. Remember, it was Obama that really allowed them to come in, and so many others. And I could dig the ones who were being murdered, the Christians or whatever. I have no problem with that. But this was the absurdity of Joe Biden, Obama, and everybody else. You dig what I'm saying? You got one?
You got some chew or no?
No, I gotta go buy some. Yeah, I got the one I've been using over and over. I'm gonna go over to Safeway and grab a couple. All right. But anyway, and people don't like to see these things for what it is, because now everybody's starting to realize that the government, these presidents, all these politicians, all of them are fraudulent Zionist conscripts. And what boggles my mind, I don't want to talk about them. It is what it is. It's a disease. I'm watching a Mossad agent. That's what he looked like, a Jew. Well, a Zionist. Working all by himself, contracting, fixing the security lights. I've seen it over and over and over. And they look at everybody, they don't care, they know what they're doing, what part they play. While people are riding around stuck in the world of idolatry, perversions, worried about who's going to accept the fact that they like the same male or female, or what they're going to eat, not sticking together to stop some of the indecent proposals made by these frauds that harm people further. You know, it's funny how you see these people and they just move And then you see the other ones who are always running and walking, getting themselves ready for what may come. While the rest of our people are acting like ding-dongs, waiting for Friday and Saturday to party, sitting up there how they can better this and that and their vehicle, and when all that's not going to matter, because they're going to bulldoze and junk all this crap when you're all gone anyway. Melt it, smelt it, have the slave labor forces out here when they, you know what I'm saying, doing all this work, we're long gone. Well, that's what they think, at least, but I'm just saying. None of you are taking boxing lessons, jiu-jitsu, judo, nothing. Some of you just got some guns. You don't even go and practice shooting because you're worried about how much the round, the ammos cost. I am telling you, you don't get involved to keep everything the way it should be. But who am I to say? All right? Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the donations if they come in. I don't know. I haven't looked. And I'll see you guys a little later, all right? From an old wild Indian, huh? I don't really like that term Indian no more. I really don't. It has a bad taste on my tongue. Just original. See you guys later, all right?